Sat Sri Akal, hello. Welcome to video 2. This video is about basics of professional candle making. In this particular video, we are going to learn what all do you need to start your candle making business. Please note, it's important to understand that whatever I am going to show you now is focused on empowering you to start your business from your home at the earliest. In case if you feel like going on a higher scale or setting up a factory or setting up a huge business, you may need to increase the amount of raw materials and you may want to shift to a high-end machinery, which we are not going to cover in this business. This business is focused on handmade candles. So I hope this information is going to be useful for you. So what all do we need to create candles? Let's understand one by one. I'm going to show you each ingredient. Along with that, I'm going to explain you what is the purpose of that ingredient and why do we need that. Now before we start, let's understand that what is a candle and what is it made of. Years back, centuries back, candle was basically used to spread the light in the atmosphere. There was no electricity, and especially Roman, they started using candles. It got introduced from Roman culture, and today it has become more of a home decor than a necessity. I'm sure people who have come from my time would have used candles some or the other time when there was no electricity to complete their homework. So jokes apart, but candle is something which spreads light, which creates light. But how does this light comes? What is candle made of? Candle is made out of wax. And what is wax? Wax is an extract of different type of products like soya bean, palm, coconut, and there are certain artificial waxes like paraffin. So most commonly available wax in Indian market especially is paraffin wax. However, as the time is going, as people are becoming more aware about the nature of the products they are using, as people are moving towards sustainable options in life, people realize that paraffin wax is a toxic wax. It is basically an extract of petroleum and it creates a kind of soot. It creates pollution which is not good for human beings or for that matter anyone in the nature. So there is another alternate available in the market which is a sustainable option, which is also called vegetable wax or which is also known as natural wax, that is soya bean wax or soya wax. A lot of candles are seen these days made out of soya wax. So to make a candle you need wax. What type of wax you will pick up is your choice, and as we go further we are going to explain you the property of each type of wax, what they are basically used for, how you can create candles and what kind of candles you can create from them. So I'm going to show you how a paraffin wax looks. This is how the soya bean wax looks. You get soya bean wax in chunks. You get them in flakes as well. Apart from that, you may also need stearic acid. Now, stearic acid basically an add-on which is used to create a shine and opaque look in your wax, and mostly we use them in paraffin wax to give it a very nice shine kind of thing. Now this is wax. Once you have wax, you need something else to complete your candle. If you have the wax, that is not enough. So in order to make a candle, what is the second thing we need, and which is very important? That is a wick. Now what is a wick? A wick basically is also known as bati in Hindi. thread. It's a cotton thread which is kept inside the wax before it gets hardened, and when you burn this wick, that is when the light is created. So this is like a generator of flame in your candle. Now this is very important for us to understand. If you do not have a wick in your candle, it's not a candle. So this is how important it is. It's very important to understand your wick, and we are going to have a separate video about how do you create your wicks, what is the importance of wick, what can happen if your wick is not perfect. So apart from wick, now the next thing you would need is some kind of container, cavity or a mold in which you can give a shape to your wax. Now when you take a wax is in a solid form. As we just saw, each wax has a kind of solid state when you buy them. In order to create a shape of candle, it could be any shape. These days there are so many designer candles available in the market, but in order to give a shape to that wax, that candle, you need a cavity, which is generally known as molds. Now these molds can be any kind of molds. They can be aluminium molds, something like this. They can be glass molds, something like this. There are endless varieties of glass molds, glass jars available in market. They could be metal or tin molds, something like this. Or they could be concrete or clay or terracotta molds. It depends on you. Anything which is heat resistant, which does not change its state or shape on heating, is something we can use as a mold. Now why heat resistance? Because when you're going to melt your wax, it is going to be in hot state, and if you put that hot wax, example, in plastic jar, that plastic jar may get contracted, your wax will be ruined, your whole product will be ruined. So avoid plastic and take something which is heat resistant. Now we have wax, we have a wick, and we have a mold. If we talk about basic candle, ideally these three things are enough for us to create a candle. Apart from this, what you need is, you need an induction or a gas or a double boiler, right? A double boiler basically is a boiler where you do not heat your wax or your product directly. You put water in one boiler and you add the other boiler with wax into that, and with the heat of that water, the wax smells. So basically one boiler and two boiler, that's what a double boiler is, right? Now once you melt your wax on the gas, you can pour it into your container and you can create the candle. However, there are so many things which we use in candle making, and they can be optional for some and they can be mandate for some. So let's see what are the other things. Apart from this, we need the clips. These are the clips to hold the wick, or you can call them wick holders. Wick holders are basically used to keep your wick absolutely straight in the center. You may need a thermometer to check the temperature of your wax. Especially in case if you're thinking of creating aroma candles, it's very important for you to have a thermometer. If you're thinking to make scented candles, you cannot do without a thermometer. You would also require a weighing scale. If you're thinking of making candles to be sold to your clients, if you're planning to make professional candles, you would need a weighing scale, because it's very difficult to every time create a candle with a perfect measurement, and when you start a business, you would not want to waste even a drop of wax. So invest a small amount of money in the weighing scale. If you want to create your own wicks, you would need a cotton thread. This is optional because in market you get a lot of wicks available. If that suits you, you may not go through the hassle of creating your own wicks. A pair of scissors. It's always important because you may have to cut wicks, you may have to cut packaging, you may have to, cut a lot of things while you're doing this process. So scissors is always required. Then scents or aroma oils, fragrance oils, or some people use partial essential oils. So scented oils, scents are required if you're planning to make aroma candles. People who want to make aroma candles. Then you may also need colors. If you want to make a colored candle, you would need colors. There are special colors for candle making. Please note, do not use watercolors, acrylic colors, food colors. They will not get diluted with your wax. So if you use those colors, it's going to spoil your wax and it's of no use. There are special colors available in market which are used for candle making. You can easily search on internet and write wax colors, candle making colors, and you will get a lot of results, a lot of suppliers providing you that. Now colors come in powdered form, something like this, what we've seen. They also come in liquid form, something like this, what we see. However, in case if you're just planning to experiment 1 or 2 candles before you go for full-fledged candle making, you can take the wax crayons which are easily available on stationery shop in the market. That may cost you 15 to 20 rupees and it will give you around 12 options of wax crayons. So when we make the candles, I'm going to tell you how you can add those colors in your candles. But you can use that also. That is only in case if you're planning to create some candles for your own personal use and hobby. If you want to do a business, do not invest in them. Invest in proper candle making colors. Other than colors, you also have options of shimmers. Now these are also colored, but they have glitter in them. These are shimmers. They're also called mica. Easily available in the market, especially on the places where you buy raw material for candle making. This gives a beautiful shine and look to your candle, and I highly recommend you to add shimmers in your candle because when the candle burns, it gives a very satisfying look to your candle, and I'm sure your clients are going to love that. Other than this is something I would highly recommend. This is a straw. You can use a straw, a hard straw, or you can use an empty cover of a pen, open from both the sides. Yep, open from both the sides. And what is the purpose of this? I'm going to tell you in the video where we're going to learn about wicks. This, my friend, is a savior. It's a heat gun. And you must invest in this if you're thinking of starting a business. I know a lot of people say, can we use a hair dryer? Can we skip this? Well, if you're just doing 1 or 2 candles for fun, you may use a hair dryer. But hair dryer can cause you a lot of issues of blowing away your wax, too much high pressure. But heat gun is something which is going to save you from a lot of problem. So invest in heat gun. Some tissue papers. Always keep tissue papers handy whenever you're working. Always. This is going to help you clean your vessels, clean your desk, clean your gas or induction. The moment you melt your wax, this is going to help you to clean the container you melted your wax. And a lot of times you tend to keep wax or your products at some place. This always helps you keep your space clean and intact. Now, one more thing I want you to work on is having a top on your table or your counter. It could be a brown paper or it could be a regular paper, a chart paper or something like this. Why I recommend this? Because when you make candles, you tend to spill lot of things on the counter, and every time scraping away wax, cleaning them by hand using hot water is not possible and is not very healthy. So if you have covered your top with a brown paper or some sheet, it's always easy for you to just pick it up, wrap it and throw it in the dustbin. That saves your life, that keeps your counter clean, absolutely perfect, and saves you from a lot of hassles. Then there is one more thing you may want to invest in. These are wick clips. Yes. Now what is a wick clip? Normally when you buy wicks from market, your wick has a clip under it. This is a ready-made wick where there is already a clip. However, in case if you plan to make your own wicks, you would need a clip, a wick tab or wick clip, what this is called, and this is used to press and settle your wick on the base. So this is important. Easily available from the places where you buy raw material, or you can buy them from Amazon. Very now good priced, and you don't have to invest a lot in this. So you spend some 400-500 rupees and you get thousands of clips, and which can be used for a very long time. Then you may need a small brush. This is used to grease your molds, especially when you work with aluminium molds. It's important to grease these molds in order to make sure that when you demold your candle, they are demolded easily. So this can be easily found in your kitchen, or you can shop it from again some online store or a local vendor in the market. It's a brush. If you do not use this, you can ideally use a finger, but it's not advisable, because what happens is, one, you're messing your hands. Second, if the mold is quite deep, you may not be able to put the hand inside and spread all the oil easily. So if you have a brush, it's very easy to just drop it, dip it in the oil and grease it nicely, and it's done, right? So again, a very small investment. Other than this, you might need sellotape at some occasions. This is used to lock the molds. There are certain molds you buy from market where you have a hole in the end. So even if you take out the wick from there, you still have some space left. So to lock that, you may need a sellotape. So it's always nice to keep it wherever you keep your material. So it's always handy with you. Some sticks or some pencils are also okay to use if you do not want to invest in these wick holders. But these are really nice. They're easy to work with. However, they are a little expensive. So to start with, if you want to invest in something like this, or if you want to simply use pencils, that is absolutely okay. As I said, in candle making business, you can go step by step. Do not invest huge amounts at the starting. Experiment, experience, and as you feel this is convenient for you, go for it. One more thing I will want you to invest in, again not very expensive, somewhere around 40-50 rupees. This is a Fevibond. You can take Fevibond or Fevikwik. This is an adhesive. What is it used for? This is used to fix your wick to the bottom of your jar, right? So normally when I was learning, I learned people saying use little bit of wet wax, fix your wick from the wax, and it's not going to go anywhere. Guys, it's absolutely okay to follow that particular pattern of fixing your wick. However, personally, it did not work for me. So what was the challenge I was facing? Every time I used to fix my wick with the wax, at that particular time, it used to get fixed because the wax used to get tighten, it used to get cold, and the wick used to stay. But the moment I used to pour in hot wax for making the candle in the jar, the wick used to get removed from the base, and then it used to go haywire. So if your wick is not perfect in your candle is going to get destroyed. It's going to get ruined. So I thought of finding out a solution which can easily stick to the base and the wick doesn't move. And this, my friend, is a very, very good product. So invest in this. That's about it. In case if you are planning to make some kind of designer candles and you want to invest in silicone molds, please feel free to do so. I am also going to teach you how you can, use silicone molds. So this is a silicone mold. It's the mold of a floating candle, and as we move further we will tell you how you can use these molds. There are also some molds like tea light candle molds, or as I said, some glass molds. You get those terracotta pots, and there is a huge variety available in the market. So that's it about the material required for candle making. So do you see, you don't need much stuff for creating candles, right? With this minimum amount of raw material you can start your business. So hope you like this video. See you all in next video. All the best.